Welcome to the Sunday Sample for Corporate Worship Matters. I'm Malcolm Cox, and this is a 7-part series based on an article I read in Worship Musician magazine. The link is in the show notes. It's an article by Jon Nicol, and I've printed it off here, and I'm going to read some excerpts over the next few weeks and then discuss some issues that can help our churches to sing better, because the article is entitled 6 Mistakes That Prevent or Keep Your Church from Singing. And I know we all want our church to sing effectively and worshipfully. So I must admit where I am, some of the times when I'm with my churches, they sing well and sometimes not so well. And I found this article to be a helpful filter or checklist for me to think about how I'm leading worship and how I'm promoting the ideas of worship. So, because when the churches don't sing, I don't want to berate them, and I don't want to bully individuals into singing. That's not the point. I think there is a better way, and I think you'll find these 6 tips and the 7th summary we'll do at the end helpful. I hope you do. And not all of these may apply to your situation, but I think it's worth using them to review the areas which might be hindering your church and mine from fully embracing and enjoying all of what corporate musical worship has to offer. So over the next 6 weeks, we'll take each one in turn, tease them apart, and think about their application. I'd love to know what you think. Now, on to today's episode. Let's talk about our 3rd issue. It's called, How Does That Go Again? Let me quote from the article. As an experienced and trained vocalist, you're capable of singing songs that are far more complicated than the average person can handle. If you rotate in tunes with syncopated or unintuitive rhythms, awkward intervals, and other musically complex elements, your congregation will have a hard time catching on. And if you've probably seen that, as I have. You need to be careful with Christian radio songs, as he calls them here, songs that people will hear on the radio that sound great, sung by that professional worship leader person, but are going to be difficult for a congregation. A lot of those songs are not really congregational songs. They're too complicated for the average person to learn and internalize quickly. So how do you discern and decide whether to take that great song you've heard and teach it to the congregation or not? We have some songs that we've tried to sing a few times and just don't seem to be clicking. And I don't yet know whether it's because the congregation doesn't know it well enough, or whether we've just picked a song that's just too difficult. The intervals, the syncopation, the rhythms, the melody line is great for a singer, but not necessarily for a congregation. What have you found that's helped congregations to engage in more difficult songs? Or how do you decide whether to try and teach a congregation a particular song or not? Are there some songs that you now have decided not to use anymore? I'd like to know your thoughts on that. But let's make sure that we do not overcomplicate things for a congregation, whilst at the same time stretching them a little bit from time to time. So what did you think of what we talked about today? I'd love to know your thoughts. So please leave a comment anywhere you hear or see this recording. Leave it in public so that we can learn from each other, because we learn best when we learn in community. If you can think of anybody who might benefit from this, please pass the link on to them. Leave us a review, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave a review wherever you get your podcasts from, and that would be wonderful. And I do pray that the next time you gather together with all your friends to worship our great God, it will be a time of great, encouraging worship, worshiping the Lord with joy and great exaltation. Take care, and God bless.